Hello, everyone. Today, I want to share a story with you. This is not just a story for listening practice. This is a story about life, about struggle, about sacrifice, about truth. The story is called Nothing is Free, and if you listen carefully, you may see yourself inside it. There was a young man named Daniel. He was 21 years old and lived in a small, quiet town in the United States, a place where everyone knew everyone, where dreams often felt bigger than the streets themselves. The town was peaceful, but for Daniel, peace did not mean comfort. It meant limitation. Daniel lived in a small rented house with his parents and his younger brother. His father, Robert, worked long hours as a warehouse loader. Every day he woke up before sunrise, lifted heavy boxes all day, and came home exhausted. His mother, Linda, worked part-time at a grocery store, standing on her feet for hours just to earn enough to help with bills. His younger brother, Ethan, was still in school and looked up to Daniel like a hero. Daniel had big dreams, bigger than his town, bigger than his situation. He dreamed of building his own business one day. He dreamed of freedom. He dreamed of helping his family escape the cycle of struggle. But dreams were easy. Reality was not. Most nights, Daniel lay on his bed staring at the ceiling, listening to the sound of his father coughing in the next room, hearing his mother count money quietly at the kitchen table, trying to decide which bill could wait another week. Those sounds stayed in Daniel's mind. They fueled him. They haunted him. One evening, Daniel sat outside on the porch, watching the sun slowly disappear behind the houses. His father sat beside him, tired, silent. After a long pause, Daniel spoke. "Dad, do you think life ever gets easier?" His father smiled softly, not a happy smile, but an honest one. "Life doesn't get easier, son. You just get stronger." Daniel nodded. "I want more than this. I don't want to struggle forever." His father looked at him seriously and said words Daniel would never forget. "Then remember this. Nothing is free. Not money, not success, not respect. If you want something different, you'll have to work for it harder than anyone you know." Those words planted something inside Daniel. The next morning, Daniel woke up early and went for a walk. He passed people heading to work, saw closed shops, empty streets, and thought deeply. He noticed something simple. In his town, there was no local coffee stand. People drove far every morning just to buy coffee before work. That was when the idea came. Daniel had no money, no business experience, no connections, but he had one thing: determination. He decided to start small, very small. He borrowed an old coffee maker from a neighbor. He saved every dollar he could and bought basic supplies. One cold morning, before the sun rose, Daniel set up a small folding table near a bus stop where workers passed every day. He stood there nervously, heart pounding, wondering if anyone would even notice him. People walked past. Some ignored him. Some smiled politely. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, a tired construction worker stopped. "How much?" he asked. $2, Daniel replied. The man handed him cash, took the cup, and nodded. "Not bad." That moment changed everything. Daniel woke up every day at 4 a.m. He made coffee, set up his table, smiled even when he was tired, even when his hands were cold, even when sales were slow. Some days he barely made anything. Some days he felt foolish standing there alone. But he remembered his father's words, "Nothing is free." Weeks passed. People started recognizing him. They liked his consistency. They trusted him. Slowly, his small coffee stand became part of their routine. But success never comes alone. Problems arrived too. One morning, rain poured heavily. No customers came. His supplies got wet. His coffee machine broke. Daniel stood there soaked, frustrated, defeated. For a moment, quitting felt easy. That night, he sat at the kitchen table, staring at his empty cup. His mother noticed his silence. "Tough day?" she asked. Daniel nodded. "Maybe this isn't for me." She looked at him gently and said, "If it were easy, everyone would do it. But the things that matter always demand a price." Daniel went to bed that night tired, but not broken. He fixed the machine himself by watching videos at the public library. He improved his setup. He saved again. Slowly, he expanded. He added tea, then snacks, then better cups. Months later, a local cafe owner noticed him and offered advice. Not help, advice. "If you want to grow, learn everything yourself," the man said. "Nobody builds your dream for you." Daniel listened. He started reading books, learning about business, learning about people, learning about failure. Then, something unexpected happened. A new coffee truck arrived in town, big, shiny, professional. It parked close to Daniel's spot. Customers drifted away. Daniel's sales dropped sharply. Fear returned. For days, Daniel felt anger, jealousy, self-doubt. But then he realized something important. Competition wasn't unfair, it was reality, and reality doesn't care about feelings. Instead of complaining, he adapted. He learned customer names, he remembered orders, he listened, he stayed late, he worked harder, he improved quality. Slowly, people came back, not because his setup was bigger, but because his effort was real. One evening, an elderly woman handed him a tip and said, "Young man, I don't buy coffee here because it's cheap. I buy it because you care." That night, Daniel cried quietly in his room. Years passed. Daniel saved enough to rent a tiny shop. It wasn't fancy, but it was his. He painted the walls himself. His father fixed shelves. His mother cleaned. His brother served customers after school. On opening day, Daniel stood behind the counter shaking, but when customers walked in, smiling, supporting him, he felt something powerful. Pride. But life wasn't done testing him. One winter night, a pipe burst. Water flooded the shop. Equipment was damaged. Insurance didn't cover everything. Daniel stood in the ruined shop, heartbroken. For a moment, everything felt pointless. But then he remembered every early morning, every rejection, every failure, and he realized something deeper. Nothing is free, but everything is possible. Daniel rebuilt, slowly, painfully, with help from people who believed in his work ethic, his honesty, his consistency. Years later, Daniel owned multiple locations, but more importantly, his parents no longer worried about bills. His father rested, his mother smiled more, his brother went to college. One evening, Daniel stood outside his first shop, now renovated and busy. His father stood beside him. "You did it," his father said. Daniel shook his head. "No, I earned it." And that is the truth. Nothing is free. Not dreams, not growth, not success. But if you are willing to pay the price with effort, patience, discipline, and sacrifice, life will eventually pay you back. This story is not about coffee. It's about you. Your dream may be different. Your struggle may look different, but the rule is the same. Nothing is free, but everything is possible.